exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The River Churns, and hope you're having a good Monday afternoon. Quite honestly, I hope you all had a great weekend. I mean, we had
it's
beautiful weather. So some of you caught me yesterday. I was finding a little peace and quiet and fishing in one of our back ponds, and I got there early, and I was surprised at how many people were walking by. There was a lot of people out yesterday, and rightfully so.
Sure.
But you know, I just want to tell you, I caught a fish that was about this big. I'm not kidding.
That's a good fish story.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's probably not true. Maybe I caught one about that big. So I am not no Paul Stewart or
Clyde Cook.
Yeah, that's who else I was trying to think of.
We got several fishermen.
We got a couple of guys that are good fishermen, but they would certainly outdo me. But I had a lot of fun, and that was important. It was a great day. So we got Dan Phillips as our guest here today. Dan, nice to have you with us.
Well,
Welcome,
thank
Dan.
you for inviting me. It gave me a legitimate purpose to get out and move around a bit, but it's not like I don't have things to do. Tomorrow afternoon, Diana and I are going to strip the bed and rotate the mattress.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I hope you have a good time doing that. Sounds like fun. If anybody wants to help them out with that, I'm sure they'd be willing to have help with that, right, Dan?
The more the merrier.
Okay, there you go. So we'll come back to you in a second, but I think we've got our trivia question, Lisa, that we want to
Yes. So the trivia. Oh, Dan, we forgot.
Dan. Thank you, Dan. We got to turn our hourglass.
There we go.
We've been fortunate so far. We haven't had any issues with our hourglass.
I know.
It hasn't run out before we
It hasn't, and I know you all are thankful for that too. So we'll stick with that. We have the trivia question today from John Hoyt, and the question is, what is the term for a positive electrode? What is the term for a positive electrode? So if you know the answer, you're going to call Michelle at 336-389-4103. So the first person to call today and have the right answer, they're going to get a bottle of wine.
Yes, and actually Michelle's bringing that bottle of wine up to us right now.
It's on the way in right now.
I think she just made it for us, so it's good.
Look at that. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you,
A wonderful bottle of wine.
Bottle of
so
wine.
just one more time, the question is, what is the term for a positive electrode?
So, okay, we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so, wow, we're getting some feedback.
Somebody's got a bad microphone, I think.
Is that me?
Let's see if we can figure out who's...
It's one of us here.
Hold
So
on one
I'm
second,
going to shut
folks.
mine off for a second to see if it's me.
Okay, testing. Dan, you okay?
Testing.
Oh, you're not on, Dan.
Oh.
It's not. I don't see the light on yours. There you go.
Now can you hear me?
Now try now. Try it now. Okay, good. All right, so I think it's you, Lisa. So we'll let Lisa go ahead and change hers out. Sorry about that, folks. But let me give you a quick update about the coronavirus. So our update from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. Again, this was updated at 11 o'clock today. North Carolina has completed 20,864 tests, of which we have positive in 1,307. That's 1,307. That's about 6%, so that's a little bit higher than what we've been running recently, but I'm not surprised. I think the hospitals now have kind of almost taken a position of, unless you're admitted to the hospital, they won't test you. So there are still some hospitals that are doing some drive-up testing, but I can tell you that hospitals like Cone are not doing that, and they're sending people away and telling them to go back to their homes, even if they're symptomatic, but if their symptoms aren't too bad. So I think that's probably skewing the results a little bit. So, out of the 1,307 cases, we've unfortunately had 6 deaths here in North Carolina. And we have that. This is a new category now. They've got how many are hospitalized in North Carolina with the coronavirus, and we have 137 according to this statistic. So when I did that percentage of the number of cases, that comes out to about 10.5% of the cases are bad enough that they need to be in the hospital. So Mecklenburg County has spiked. That's, if you all remember and know where that is, I'm sure most of you do, that's where Charlotte is. There are 382 cases in the Mecklenburg County area. Wake County has 166, Durham has 106, and then here in our area, Guilford is at 44, and Forsyth is at 39 cases. So we know that number will continue to go up. We know that the people there's still testing that's coming in, tests that have been done, waiting for results back. So we're expected that number is going to keep rising here. But, you know, the social distancing thing is very important for us, and I think our residents have taken that very seriously, which I really appreciate. Our staff have done the same. So we'll continue in that vein. And, you know, speaking of which, about social distancing, it leads me into, I'm sure you all saw the president extend the social distancing another 30 days beyond what was originally decided. So we're going to be social distancing until the end of April at this point, which I don't think anybody really is quite surprised about. You know, the question is, you know, are we going to get past our peak in the next 30 days? And I think that's the hope. I know that that's what our president shared, was that the modeling that they're doing at the White House is showing that we should be hitting our peak in the next couple of weeks. Now, that modeling for peaks, I guess, depends on when it hit in certain areas. But, you know, let's hope that we're going to peak here soon and start at down on the other side. Because once we start down the other side, then I think we've got some hope for us seeing the end point, the finish line here. So that would be really good. As far as here at River Landing, you know, tomorrow is our start of our new, we put the information out for you all this weekend. We're going to start tomorrow with with being able to do the grab and go and up at the clubhouse, so that outside residents will have an opportunity to be able to get the stuff that normally would be gotten in the bistro. Mm-hmm. And we really are trying to limit the exposure in the main building here as opposed to outside. And we'll get into that in a couple minutes, because I think we've got a question about that. Good news, I think. We've got 4 housekeepers that have agreed to do this housekeeping thing that we talked about, this clean team as we talked about. And we're going to be starting them with, we're going to test them, and they're going to move into the community this week. We're going to test them, and we're going to also then quarantine them for a period of time. And then once they come out of quarantine, we'll have 1 cottage team and 1 housekeeping, main building team, so to speak, apartment team, whatever you want to call it. And so we'll have more information about that. But I'm just very happy that we've got 4 housekeepers that are willing pretty much to put their life on hold outside of River Landing and commit to coming in here and staying here on campus and be our clean team, so to speak. And you know, it'll be great to be able to provide some element of housekeeping in our homes. So again, we'll have more about that. Let's see. Just a reminder about call-in meals. Please keep your calls between 9 and 11 in the morning for lunch, and between 1 and 3 p.m. in the afternoon for dinner. We're still seeing some folks that I understand that this is a process. People got to get used to this. Yep. Some folks that are calling way past 3 o'clock, sometimes even calling during mealtime and expecting. And so, you know, there's, you know, Dan, I think this is one of the things we were going to talk about anyway, was the fact that, you know, we got a new team up at the clubhouse, and they're still trying to get their feet underneath them up there and try and get things worked out. And they're doing a really good job, in my opinion. But this is a process. It's going to take some time.
Because they're new to River Landing.
Yeah.
They were trained to do a job that they're not doing, and in 3 days you had them trying to do
something different. Yeah.
Packaging, bistro stuff. Yeah. So I applaud them.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. And you know, it's just, you know, we've been asking you to have patience with our team. You know, quite honestly, there's been mistakes made on both sides. Residents have made some honest mistakes. Staff have made some honest mistakes, and you know, if there hasn't ever been a better time for us to be able to be more forgiving of each other than now, in my opinion. And we're in this together, folks. So please bear with us and please help us. So we keep that in mind as we keep working on that.
And also, Tom, we're working on getting the care merge up and going.
Yes.
So at some point, we're hoping to be able to have where you can order your meals through a care merge, which would be a huge benefit to a lot of folks that
that'd be great.
Use that application.
Thank you. I didn't have that. I didn't see that on my notes here. And we're also asking our golfers to please maintain that 6-foot social distancing radius. I know when you get out on a golf course, sometimes it's, you just get so used to being together when people are making shots, especially at the tee boxes. So please remember to keep your 6-foot distance out while you're out playing golf. Thank goodness we can play golf, right? I mean, a lot of things have been taken away, unfortunately, but fishing and golf are still capable things to be able to do. Cindy Hawks is looking for folks to volunteer to help us. We have gotten, this weekend, we received 1,000 sheets. These are special polypropylene. That's it. I think that's right. Polypropylene, which is used to make masks. And so we've also got that. We've also got the elastic bands that they can be made with. So we're looking for people that can sew, who can actually start making these masks for us. We have, like I said, we have 1,000 sheets. So if we do this well, we could get 1,000 masks out of this, which would be fantastic to be able to have that. Speaking of which, you may have noticed that some of our staff are wearing masks, and so as we, there's still a struggle nationwide getting masks, but we have started trying to mask our food service delivery folks, our food service frontline people, so that when they are giving you food, they are masked and gloved. And so we have kind of started moving in that direction. So just because you see our folks masked, don't assume that we have a case. We do not have a case that we know of yet on site. But again, for your protection and for their protection, we're going to do as best we can with that. So we could really use help with the making of these masks, because these masks would be perfect for our food staff, our dining staff, to be able to utilize that.
Yep.
So, okay, I think that's it. Oh, one last thing, and that is, you all might be interested to know, we have really been working on our education for our staff about, and I think, it almost brings tears to my eyes when I think about this, about how dedicated of a team we have here staff-wise. We have staff members that understand the importance of, even when they leave River Landing and they've finished their work, that they are screening the people that they're coming in contact with, and that is for the ones that are coming in contact. I know of a lot of staff members who are going home, staying at home, not going out and doing things, not giving themselves a chance to be able to become infected in any way, because none of them, and I can assure you, none of them want to be the person responsible for bringing it here to River Landing. So we've got a really good team, I think. We're doing our best to keep educating our staff so that we can do our best to try and keep this virus out of this community, which puts me back on my soapbox again a little bit too, which is, the idea that we still have residents that are leaving on a daily basis, and it's not for medical appointments. It is we keep asking. A lot of people are going out for groceries. They're going out for, honestly, things I think that we can help you get without having to go off premises. And just remember, for you all that are going off campus, every time you go off campus, it's another opportunity for you to bring that virus back here. And so I ask you how important how important it is for you to leave. I heard a story the other day. I don't know. I assume it's true, but somebody left the campus because they had a $2.50 coupon or rebate or something that they had to go get cashed in. And you know what? If you have a $2.50 rebate that you really feel a need to have to go out and get cashed in, come see us. We'll give you $2.50. Okay? I mean, if that'll keep you on campus, then that's what we need to do. So. Okay.
And we had one more thing. We had a resident come to us this morning and reminded us about running their car periodically.
Yeah. Oh,
so we promised her that we would bring that up today.
Yes.
So I think what the standard is at least one time a week, at least run your car,
Yes.
right? To
Now,
keep
don't
everything.
run it over anything,
Well,
but,
no.
you know,
And we don't want you running out of campus with it either.
Right.
So maybe we end up having a parade of cars on campus. I'm not
I know
sure.
that sounds dangerous to
I'm
me.
not sure how this will look. But just keep that in mind that it is good for your car to be run at least once a week.
Yeah, I think most auto mechanics will tell you that makes a whole lot of sense because your tires can become dry rotted if you're not using it.
People get that flat spot over
They get the
it.
flat spots. That's right. And then your batteries can also go down in charge after a period of time. So I think the recommendation was, I'm trying to remember how many minutes it was, for 10 or 15 minutes once a week. I think
so.
it was
Yep.
to run your vehicle.
Right.
It brings back old days for me because my grandfather used to have, I think it was a 48 Ford, and he didn't drive. He was done driving back at that time when he had this vehicle, but he religiously went out there every day and started that car up and kept it running for 10 or 15 minutes just because he
Just
knew
to
that
keep
was
it-
important to be
sure.
able to do that. So,
But I was thinking about that because
Yeah.
I haven't driven, and Diane hasn't either of our cars for 6 days now.
Right.
So tomorrow I should crank them up and.
you should crank them up.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're going to change the bed and crank up your car.
Well, I'll save the car for Wednesday. Then.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Okay.
that's two really important things on your list
That's
now,
right.
Dan. See, we're adding
Oh,
things to be
that's
able to do
right.
here.
That's
so.
right.
So, Lisa, I think we have some questions
We
that
do.
want
We
to
do.
talk about today, right?
So the first question, since we're using so many more takeout containers now, can you remind us what can be put in recycling?
That's a great question
It
because I
is.
always forget which one.
I know, I know.
So you have an answer, I assume.
Yes. So the styrofoam products, all of those you unfortunately have to throw in the trash. So styrofoam, we can't recycle that. The clear containers or the clear top ones with the black bottoms, you can rinse those out and put those in your recycling bin. So hopefully that helps clarify that.
Right.
Next one. I worry that our housekeepers will be unemployed if they're not cleaning our homes. Can we give them something? I thought that was a very sweet question
That's
from
really
someone.
nice.
Yes.
So the good news there is we are, for staff members that are not able to do what they normally would be coming in and working here for, like the housekeeping team, we are using them in other ways.
We
You
are.
probably have seen some of our housekeeping staff because they're doing deliveries, they're helping out with meals. We've got them specialized in common areas in
Right.
different buildings. Quite honestly, we've got a couple staff members that'll be delivering, housekeeping staff members that'll be delivering from the bistro for breakfast tomorrow.
Right, right, and the creamery.
And the creamery. So, we've got our housekeeping team kind of spread throughout the campus in helping roles. We even have a couple of housekeepers that we have put over permanently into the healthcare center. I say
Right.
permanently during this time,
Mm-hmm.
who will be helping out with the infection control and the housekeeping over in the healthcare center as well. So.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think it's gonna be very
everyone's
good.
being taken care of.
So thank you for the offer to do that, but
Mm-hmm.
right at the moment, we're able to keep our staff kind of engaged at this point with other things.
Could I add to that one?
Yeah, please.
It might be from my year with the Employee Appreciation Fund, but when you look at what's going to do what they're experienced to do, and they're doing it cheerfully.
Yeah.
And I just want to shout out a big thank you to all of them.
Thanks, Dan.
That's great.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
All right, Lisa, we got a few more, right?
Okay, we do. What is the reasoning for limiting the traffic between inside and outside folks to different areas?
Yeah, so, we've been talking about this. This has been kind of a theme we've been doing and talking about for the last week or so. And the idea here is compartmentalization. We really are trying to compartmentalize and keep our outside folks from a distance away from our inside folks. And the reason for that, quite honestly, is one, it's a little easier for our staff because we're not having groups of residents in the same area at the same time. It's a little easier for us to be able to compartmentalize. And quite honestly, folks, and I know none of us want to hear this, but God forbid we have an outbreak here and we have a resident that becomes positive and doesn't know it for a period of time, then at least what we've done is we compartmentalize folks away from each other. So if it was an outside resident that happened to get it and they didn't know it, if they were coming into the building and doing things in the building, they've had a chance now to spread it all throughout the building, and vice versa. So for outside folks that were coming into the building, if an inside person had it and they were having these interactions with outside folks. So again, our whole goal here is to kind of keep our staff and our residents as compartmentalized as possible, so that, God forbid, we have an incident here, then the effect of that hopefully would be a lot smaller than what it could be by doing this. And I hope I didn't lose any of you on that explanation, but that is our whole philosophy here. We got a big campus, you all know that. It just seems to me to make sense that we separate the inside residents from the outside residents as much as possible and just keep it at manageable numbers. And so that's the reason for doing this.
Absolutely. We might have lost y'all for a few seconds there. They were doing some emergency testing on the broadcast system. So hopefully you all are back on at this point. I'm not sure, but you may have lost a little bit of connection there. And Brian is saying we are back on, so that's great. Probably didn't miss too much, right, Tom?
Right. So we'll have to figure out, we can go back and look at the videotape and figure out if anything was said that was missed, we'll bring it up at our Wednesday program then.
So it sounded like it just was a couple-minute break there, but hopefully you were all back on now. Okay, next question. I live outside and want to get a larger portion when I order my food. How can I do that? So that's a great question too.
And how can they do that, Lisa?
The easiest way to do that is when you're placing your order, just go ahead and tell them, I want a larger portion, and they will go ahead and do that for you. Maybe you only want a smaller portion. You can also say that as well. Mm-hmm. So the people that are taking your orders, they're making notes of everything that you're saying. So if you want smaller, larger, just go ahead and tell them that when you're placing your order. We know everybody has a different size that they like to have. The regular size is typically a 4 to 6 ounce portion size.
Right.
So if you want more than that, just tell them that. We're happy to do that.
So Lisa, we had quiche last week. Well, I love quiche. So if I wanted an extra portion of quiche, but I wasn't really as excited about wanting an extra portion of the vegetables, that's me.
Sure,
but,
absolutely.
I just asked for an extra portion of the quiche,
You would.
right?
You'd say, I want 2 pieces of quiche, but keep the vegetables regular.
Okay. So you can do that too? That's great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, just tell them exactly what you want, and they will take care of it.
Okay. Great.
Let's see, last one. I have a family member delivering items to me. Can I meet them at the clubhouse to pick them up?
Yeah, that's not a good idea. It kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do with keeping our visitors off campus. So, we've made this provision so that family members can drop stuff off to you, and then we deliver them to you. If you're going to go up and meet them at the clubhouse, well, then it defeats the purpose. We might as well just have them come on campus then and come to your home. And that's what we're trying to avoid, right? We're trying to eliminate any of those extra opportunities that that virus can get in here. And we're not trying to say your family members are carrying the virus and bringing it in here, but we don't know. And so what we're trying to eliminate is as much as possible is the we don't know items. And so having family not coming in here helps us to eliminate that. And so that's why that's important.
And we do, when items are brought to the clubhouse, we do deliver 7 days a week from 10 until 3. So it's pretty good options for us to be able to deliver to you. So just take advantage of that service.
Okay. So I think, Dan, we're kind of at the point where we kind of see how you're doing today and talking a little bit about, I don't know anything from what kind of things, obviously with a slowdown of the amenities and all the different things going on, there's a lot of things with the resident council that aren't happening as much right now, but there's a couple things that are still going on, I think, right, Dan?
Yeah, we've actually had more meetings since the slowdown than we've had before.
That's true.
We had the emergency meeting Friday, and we've had several of those. I think the major impact is that we council members are able to let Lisa and Cindy and Tom have an idea about what's going on in the community, and they tell us things that we tell people when we get back, and that is another means of getting things out there. And I'm going to tell another one of my Walter Reed stories.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, Walter's the finest gentleman that I ever met. He was in his 90s, and this goes back a few years ago when we put the new carpets in. And I got off the elevator, and Walter was standing there, and there were a few of the residents standing over there, and they were just chattering and complaining and all. And Walter, who was 93 at the time, very tall man, and I'm short, he leans over and whispers in my ear, "Those old people don't like change." And we have been hit in the past 2 to 3 weeks with more change than I think any of us had experienced it in our entire times at River Landing.
Yeah.
And
You're right.
there's a frustration about it, but
Yeah.
I think people are dealing well with it,
Yeah.
and we'll get over this. Like I said, we're family.
Well, we are family, and this is hard. I mean, there's no question that there's a lot of frustration from residents. You know, life has changed, and you know, I know it doesn't make residents feel any better that, you know, life has changed for everybody. It's not just the residents here, the staff as well. I mean, it's just, you know, when you go home at night, I mean, you know, I finally, by the way, I finally get a chance to go home tomorrow because the quarantine is finally over. But I can tell you that I'm not sure I really want to go home because I know my 3 kids are driving my wife batty, and she's excited about me coming home.
I bet she is.
I like it here at River Landing, to be quite honest with you. I get square meals, and I get to go fishing by myself.
That's right.
I mean, you know, it's a great place to be. But it is hard. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, to have a lot of things that you all got used to be taken away. Is really a hard adjustment. And so some have adapted better than others, Dan, I
Yes.
think it's fair to say. And, you know, we're just going to have to keep working through this.
Yes. And the change, it's for our own benefit. I was talking to Homer before this started, and we're coming up on a critical 2 or 3 weeks, and there's many of the vectors that we can eliminate, and the vectors crosswise, you know, it works out better for us if we have the first infection, if it happens, and I hope it doesn't happen.
Amen to that.
Happen so that we can keep it outside or we can keep it in the building.
That's right.
And that extends protection for at least half of the population here at River Landing.
That's correct.
That's true.
And, you know, we haven't talked about this much, but we have been working on our protocol for what will happen if we get a case here. And so, you know, we've got a plan in place for how to do that. But a lot just depends also on where it is. So, you know, we got, you know, like you said, God forbid, none of us want to have it here. And I am praying that the good Lord will bless us and keep this away from this community. But if it does happen here, we're gonna tackle this together, and we're gonna work our way through this. So what else are you doing for fun, Dan? That's what I was kind of thinking. You know, since it's a little hard struggle to find things to be doing fun. Are you a jigsaw puzzler? Do you like to do jigsaw puzzles and stuff like that?
I'm big on crossword puzzles.
You're a crossword puzzle.
Yeah, I get up about 4 o'clock in the morning and print out the New York Times puzzle and work it before Diane gets up.
Okay.
And then go back to bed. But, you know, the things like that, because of the macular degeneration, I can't read novels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I subscribe to 4 newspapers.
Okay.
And then the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and then the 2 local papers.
Okay.
And then the cooking magazines. I just like to look through them and lust over all of the good food. And every now and then I'll fix something and I'll.
Is it fair to call you a cookie monster then? Maybe would that be a fair thing to be able to kind of?
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
Okay, I'll have to get a costume.
Yeah, that would be great.
Next Halloween I'll have a cookie monster.
I love it.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe at the next holiday party, you can wear your Cookie Monster outfit, and I'll wear my jacket again, because, you know, I know how much residents love to see
That's
my
right.
jacket, you know.
Oh, some people haven't
We
seen
can
your
sell
jacket.
autographed pictures.
Oh, that's true. We can sell autographed pictures.
Whew.
Well, Dan, is there anything else that you really, from a resident council perspective or a resident perspective, is there anything else that you'd like to share today before we move on to a very important birthday subject?
Well,
Yes.
I think that we're doing quite well, and if you're frustrated, and let one of us know so that if you don't want to, if I know that there were people when I first got on the council that wanted me to pass something on. I said, well, just call Tom or send him an email. Oh, no, I can't do that. Well, how about if I send Tom an email and say, you had this great idea? And he said, no, don't do that. And I said, well, how about if I tell Tom it was my idea? And he said, okay. So, if you're hesitant about, calling Tom or Lisa or whatever, let the closest member of the council know, and we'll pass it on for you.
That certainly is good. That would be good.
But our phones are always,
I was just going to say, hopefully,
we are always there. So give us a call. Don't call us between 3 and 4 because we will be down here.
well, they can. They may want to leave a message.
That's true. They might want to. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think we tried to make no bones about it that Lisa and I always are available, and that's Cindy as well.
Absolutely.
And that's
Yes.
Even Joseph and team. I mean,
Mhm.
We're all trying to do the same thing you are, is try to make the best out of a really, quite honestly, a very difficult situation. And we feel for you. We understand that there's a lot of restrictions right now, and things aren't the way they were intended to be. Just going to be honest with you, when I go by the clubhouse, it breaks my heart to realize that we don't have residents in there enjoying the clubhouse.
I know.
mean, it just, and I wish there was something I can do about that, but there's not right now. We just gotta endure this and get ourselves through this, and this too, as the Bible says, this too shall pass. So it will pass. I know it doesn't seem like that right now because we're still going up the hill, but sooner or later we're going to reach that peak and start going down the hill, and we're going to come out of this okay. We're going to come out of this okay. I promise you that. All right, Lisa. I asked you about birthdays, but I'm seeing
There's a surprise. There is no birthdays today. But tomorrow we have some birthdays. So
yes.
we'll be ready for
Are you sure of that?
I'm pretty sure.
All right, so we'll see if we got some birthdays tomorrow.
But we do have a trivia winner.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Okay. So the trivia question was, what is the term for a positive electrode?
And Dan's going to give us the answer.
Dan's going to give us the answer because I said it wrong before.
Anode.
Anode.
Yeah. Not
The answer-
anode, anode.
It's anode.
Yeah, we kept saying
I was trying to say anode, and he said, no, that's an anode. So the winner is Mary Adamson.
Wow.
She's a lucky winner. I think this might be her second time winning. She was our toilet
She won
paper
the
winner.
Alaska one.
She won the
Remember
toilet
that?
paper.
Yep.
Yeah, she did
Yep.
win the toilet paper.
So congratulations, Mary.
Okay, so we're down to our last item, which, by the way, thank you. We've been getting a lot of jokes.
We have some great ones this
Great
weekend.
stuff.
Yes,
So,
yes. Keep them coming.
We've been a half hour already, so we're not going to be much longer. But I'm just going to read the first one that I have on here, and I don't know, Lisa, who this came from. Do you know who this came from?
Kathy Hoyt sent
Kathy
that one
Hoyt.
to me.
So, and you know what? This is nice big lettering. Thank you. I don't know if you did that for me on purpose, but I don't even need my glasses to be able to read this one. It's really kind of nice. So this one says, I was on a long line at 7:45 a.m. today at the grocery store that opened at 8 for seniors only. A young man came from the parking lot and tried to cut in at the front of the line, but an old lady beat him back into the parking lot with her cane. He returned and tried to cut in again, but an old man punched him in the gut, then kicked him to the ground and rolled him away. As he approached the line for the third time, he said, if you don't let me unlock the door, you'll never get in there.
That's a good one.
That's cute. I like that.
Yep.
one. So, well, we appreciate the fact that you all are watching our show. If you got ideas for us, please share them with us. We realize that some of the stuff might get old over time if we keep doing this, so new stuff is always good. And we got a couple new items in making that we're getting ready to do.
I think we do, and I think tomorrow we're having some information
care
and
management.
some training from Cindy and Brian, maybe.
That's what I understand is Brian and Cindy are going to do a care merge training episode during our 3 o'clock
Right,
time.
right.
And then we'll be back on Wednesday with Ken And I've already got an email from Ken about something he'd like to do for the show. So I would highly recommend you tune in the next couple of days. But
You don't want to
especially
miss it.
Ken, I believe that he may be coming as an alter ego on,
I think he
on
might.
Wednesday is the impression I'm getting from him. So should be a lot of fun, and he's always great. I don't know that we're going to be talking about toilet paper trivia on Wednesday. But
I don't think we are. I think we exhausted
I don't
that.
think we.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we have too. So we
Yep.
flushed that idea down the toilet. I think we're done with that one. So, but thank you all so much. Thank you for your patience. Please help us kind of keep these policies and these new procedures going. If you've got ideas on how we can make them better, we're all ears. It doesn't mean we can always do everything that everybody wants to do, but I promise you, we'll listen to you and we'll consider any idea and suggestion that comes our way. And we just appreciate that you all are part of the River Landing family. Help us to keep our family knit, working together and close knit together. Because together, I think we can get through this. I really know that we can get through this.
Absolutely.
Together. So, thank you all so much for joining us today, and we'll see you on Wednesday.